Welcome to Down East Lakes Land Trust Ask an Expert. Every week we'll bring you an expert from right here in the Down East Lakes region to talk about conservation, forestry, wildlife, and lots of other great topics and educational series. Please join us each week via Facebook, Instagram, or your favorite social media platform.
Hi, my name is Kendall O'Connell. I'm the Education and Events Coordinator with the Down East Lakes Land Trust. We're here on this episode of Ask an Expert with my friend Ernest Carle. Ernest joined the Down East Lakes Land Trust in the winter of 2019. A native of Princeton, Maine, he brings more than 40 years of forest management experience to the Down East Lakes Land Trust. He holds a BS in Forestry Engineering from the University of Maine, Orono. In his spare time, Ernest enjoys hunting, fishing, boating, leading church services, and spending time with his 4 grandchildren. Welcome.
Glad to be here.
So, let's jump right into it then. What does a typical day as a forester look like?
For me, I get up about 5 a.m. and I eat a good breakfast. I'm on the way to the land trust by 6 or 7 o'clock. And when I get here, I check my laptop computer, fire that up, and check my mileage records for the previous day and make a plan for going in the woods. And a typical day might include 1 or 2 hours of walking, talking to a logger, a road builder, my boss in the office, and then usually leave by 3:30 or 4 in the afternoon and have an easy evening. So if I've done some serious walking, I sleep pretty good.
Nice. What inspired you to become a forester?
Originally, I was just following in my brother's footprints. He was a mechanical engineer at Orono, and I enrolled to start as a mechanical engineer, but soon after I got there, I met some new friends that were in forestry, and that sounded like something where I could use math and science and be in the woods, and that appealed to me. So I switched after 1 semester, and I've been a forester ever since.
That sounds pretty awesome. What are some good things like classes or books that a young person going into forestry should definitely learn about or consult?
There's a very good school that I went to. It's been a forestry school for over 100 years, the University of Maine at Orono, based in Nutting Hall, and there is a 2-year program at Fort Kent for forest technicians. So a couple of key books that all foresters know about and learn about are a book on silvics, that's the characteristic of trees, and a book about silviculture, which is the relationship between trees. And all the other science study supports those 2 things. But it's something you can research online. It's not just a job for guys. There's lots of girls that are successful as foresters too.
Awesome. How can forestry be used to help promote conservation?
Well, that's a fun one to ask, because conservation to me means you're using the resource responsibly. You're not overusing it, and you use it in a way that protects the environment. That means the soil, the rest of the trees that don't get harvested, and the animals that use the trees for habitat. So we try to do what's called sustainable harvesting, where it's something that will actually improve the forest. And the land trust that I work for now practices some of the best forestry I've seen since I went to college.
Nice. Well, thank you, Ernest, for coming out and taking some time out of your busy schedule to let us ask an expert about forestry. And yeah.
Ernest has been a forester for over 40 years. Here he is seen with a property line marking. He also found this large double burl while out in the woods on the community forest. Ernest is also an avid ice skater, one of the first to use the rink in Grand Lake Stream. Join us next week as we talk with Nancy Betts from the Grand Lake Stream Historical Society about the history of Grand Lake Stream and the surrounding communities.